evergreen songs from Bessa this morning on Showbiz Agenda. So here, when Bisakade said he was the high life pioneer, I believe he was just blowing his own trumpet. We have the real pioneer seated in our studio. His name is Bessa, and anytime I hear this song, I go like, okay, so the song was produced way before some of us even started this entertainment business. But then when you listen to it, it sounds like it was produced by KY yesterday. Everything is authentic in here. Now, those who are high life fanatics will say, yes, now this is high life. The rest of the some way. It wouldn't be bad for us to start with Bessa to help us with the definition of high life that some of us were struggling to do in the studio. Chief Charles was even saying, where is the definition proper? They only said the high life song should be this and that. But then, where is the definition proper? So, Uncle Bessa will help us. Let's welcome him officially. Uncle Bessa Simons, welcome to our studio.
Thank you very much, Sammy.
Thank you so much. So refreshing to have you here.
I love it. Anytime I come here, I feel so cool, because everybody here is so cool.
Yeah, that Hapko is not cool like that.
I've been watching him, and I love his music as well.
I see.
He's one of the lucky ones.
He only behaves like he's cool when he sees legends and pioneers like you, because he really wants to steal some attention. He's not cool like that. When he gets into his American mood. He will call you a mofo right now. But he's a hard guy though. He's a hard guy. I hear he's about to get married finally.
Wow.
Yeah. He found a lady of his heart.
Congratulations.
Just this morning he was discussing with Arnold the wedding and the fact that Arnold will be his best man and all. They cut me out of the best man team. But I don't mind. I'll sit at the back. We will be doing the shouting. The songs we are putting in such categories.
Well, I would say because high life has always evolved. You know, high life has always been different as the times. I remember I always say I am one of the last few who met, musicians like Kakeku, Onyina, KJC, all the old musicians, and work with them in a way, and they told me a whole kind of things. We have so many different kinds of high life. Fast tracking, it got to a point, Pa Thomas changed everything. And then, I remember Yeswe, Sambro, that was a different high life. People, were talking about it. Eko Tibrofu came in, it was different. But I think once we have some elements of high life in there, then it is high life. Because high life will never be the same.
In this case, what are the elements we are supposed to feel in there to classify songs as high life songs?
I mean, also the high life is not only in Ghana now. High life is in so many countries. Because I've worked with so many high life musicians from Sierra Leone, Nigeria, and they all have a different kind of way of playing their high life. In Ghana, our guitar playing is different. The way we sing is different. Our accents are at a different place. So if you play high life and we can feel the elements of high life in it, I will call it high life. But if you copy somebody and you sing like somebody, who is not a Ghanaian, you are singing something out of nowhere, we can't even relate to it.
I still want to be, or I want you to be specific on the elements. What are these elements you are talking about we need to feel? Is it the guitar element? Is it the drum element? What are these elements?
Guitar element is one of it. The drumming, the beat, the drumming and everything. So, but most of all, the singing.
The singing?
Yes, we have different way of singing high life. And this high life, no matter how you bend it, every Ghanaian will know that this is a high life coming from Ghana. That's very, very important.
So now the singing is one determining factor.
It's crucial. Even if you sing in English, you will hear that this is a high life man singing. I mean, a white man will not sing, "Why can't you say yes? Tell me the reason why." A white man will phrase it different. you can't sing high life. So they phrase it different. You know, I mean, if you hear that I of course sing, you can tell it's high life straight away. You know, I even heard Sarkodie sing, and I know he was singing high life. You know,
is it a song with Pat Thomas, the one he did with Pat
yeah,
Thomas?
the one he did with Pat Thomas, and then I think he's done on his album. He sang so many tracks, and he was singing high life.
Okay, help us with this. What makes this song a high life song? What are the elements in this particular song that makes it high life? Alright, so with his level of experience in music, I believe the second we played will be now for him to tell us the elements we are looking for. Uncle Bessa.
Okay, I mean, I can hear elements from Lumba in the congas. Boom, boom. Kata, kum, kum, kum. Just that these young guys are syncopated. They will take some out and maybe go boom, boom. That is one. And it's only a Ghanaian who will be singing and say, add O, you know. You know, those phrases, they are all high life phrases. It's been going for a long time. Although they've added more metallic sound in it, you know, but the singing, I mean, a white man will sing like that? No way. Unless you've lived in Ghana, even Fantiman will sing like that. It's a Ghana singing. If we can take this song, put Wolomi beat behind it and sing it, and it will be a Ghanaian song. You know, the challenge is that high life is evolving. High life is changing all the time, and we have to be with it. We don't have to criticize it too much, although they could have put in more guitars, you know, to bring it down. But these young guys are not doing that. You know. But you can feel the high life singing in it. You know, even I know my level, the way they sang it. I mean, if I'm writing it, I will not sing it like that. But you see, music also, where you come from. For a Ga, you sing different. For a Fanti, Ashanti sing different, and we cannot all sing the same way. I mean, the bass line, we could have put contemporary high life that. No, they will take pieces and they join it with the drums. You know, and then, you know, every space is filled by something. They all don't go at the same time, and they leave spaces. But it is still high life to me.
So we should accept the new feeling of high life now. It's not as if we are losing identity. It is just the fact that high life music has evolved. That is why we are listening to different types.
Yeah, not all of them though. Once we can feel the Ghanaian element, high life in it, I think we should, you know,
Anyways, thank you so much. At least enough education there. So this is it. Someone might sing in the high life way, but the beat might not be exactly the high life rhythm you're looking for. But because the person sang in a high life way, the song can also be considered high life. You need to get that information right, because that is what Uncle Bessa Simons has given us this morning. Now we're going straight to business. Ever since Musica announced that there is going to be elections this year for Musica, we were all asking, so who were those who will be vying for the presidency? And names came out. At a point, we even thought that people like Appiah too and the rest of them were all going to compete. But they ran away. They are all runaway boys, leaving just two strong men in that position. Here we have Bessa Simons and Rastaman. We have Rascaleb Appiah. He is also there. This morning, we are going to go into the manifesto of Bessa Simons. Was it last week? Yes, somewhere last week. Rastaman Caleb Appiah was here, and today we have Honorable Bessa Simons also in the studio. We are going to look at the manifesto according to the 3 pointers he's given to us, where he said that when he wins, or when musicians give him the nod, he is going to bring unity among musicians. He's going to bring accountability, and again he added greater transparency. Remember, he did not just write transparency, he added greater to it, and that is where my interest is. Greater transparency. We are about to do this discussion with you, so feel free and ask all your questions on Twitter at xylophone1021 at xylophone1021 FM. Any question at all you have, because this is the man who is going to lead our music industry when giving the nod for the next 4 years. Whether our music industry will grow or fail, most of the decisions will be coming from him. Whether we are also going to see the fact that our musicians will now eat from their struggle, or whether they are going to suffer from their struggles. Again, decisions made by him and his people, they are going to determine. So help us to do this as we move on. Uncle Bessa, once again, welcome officially to Xylophone FM.
Thank you very much, Sammy.
Now, the advice or the motivation to even vie for this position, how did you get it?
Well, I would say ever since I came to Ghana. But first of all, let me say good morning to all musicians in Ghana and all music lovers. Since I came back to Ghana, I went to Musica because I was hearing things, from people. And when I went there and heard what exactly was going on, and I was leaving, they asked me to become the acting national organizer. I took up the challenge, and it was a good experience for me, coming to Ghana. You have to know how they do their things and how you can also. But when I realized I wanted to help, with the knowledge and the experience I've had. Don't forget, I'm also a member from UK Musicians Union, and I know how they do it. I know if you're a member of Musicians Union and you pay your dues, wherever you play, you have to be paid. And any radio. So I joined so that I can make art and contribute to the betterment of musicians in Ghana.
So which year was this?
This was I would say 2000 and was it 8 or 2009? That around that. When was it that time? When Daniel Hobson was in power. Yeah, that's when I started.
Okay, so you started with the position as the organizer?
Yeah, national organizer.
National organizer. Yeah. So for how many years have you been an executive member of Musica?
I would say for now, I've been from that, I did that for some few months, and then second vice president, and now, so I would say in about 7.5 years, something like that. Yeah.
Within these 7.5 years, do you think Musica has seen development? Not coming straight from you, but then the union itself, has there been development within these 7.5 years that you have been very close to decision making?
Yeah, I think there's been massive improvement. I mean, for example, Musica was just lying idle, when we came in, and we made Musica very vibrant, so that Musica can thrive, people can do business with Musica. We made it so credible. And before, what was happening with Musica was the same executive would go to the office and work, which was not proper because that was not what they were mandated to do. So and also the knowledge for running everyday business for musicians is not proper. So we put in administration where we had Fifi and Bosco, running it. And also we did, so many things. We realized some shortcomings. We put in an accounts office, put in an accountant who will be running the money and then making sure everything is audited. We also went to the regions and strengthened them. There was a lot of capacity building where we gave every region 10,000 to set themselves up. Some did, some didn't. And I think one good thing was that the regional executives and chairperson were empowered to use, the vibrancy and the credibility of Musica to work. Because one thing I must say is that if you're an executive for Musica, you don't get paid. They don't pay you. It's a sacrificial work. So you go in there, you do your job, they give you an assignment, you go and do it. But if you are weak, then you will not do anything. You will sit down and complain, and you will do nothing. I know so many regions who are very, very powerful, like Upper East, Ashanti region, Upper West. They are doing really strong. The other thing we did also was to establish something like Ghana Music Week, which was very important. And to do all these things, we had the ability to lobby for grants, help. I think we are the only administration who could convince government, to give us something, so that we do a research. And this research we did, that so many people are complaining, I think because it's not something that goes into the mouth, they don't know how important this is. This is the only thing that anybody who travels to the country now we use. This is the only source of information people can get from the creative arts. This is something that the government is using now. Every government that comes will use this research that we do. Also, I mean, because I'm coming from the education background of music, I made sure we partnered with School of Performing Arts and NAFTI to set up the Musical Academy, which was free in the first year. And now, you know, there is a paid thing at NAFTI, and now they're going for a degree course.
So the course is still being run at NAFTI?
At NAFTI, yeah. You know, and I mean, and many more. We did a whole lot of workshop for capacity around the 10 regions. I remember that. That was the first time I was traveling all over the 10 regions in a bus to see everything we have. And a lot of musicians benefited from that.
In your corner as the first vice president of Musica, since Obo also started his administration, what has been Bessa's contribution? Like, for instance, Bessa contributed to this particular move. Bessa said that we should do this at Musica. Are there some one or two that you can point out clearly for us to know?
Oh, a lot of them. I mean, when it comes to things like setting up the administration, that was one of my big moves. You know, I contributed a lot also to having grants, because I know how grants work, and I know there are so many grants that people don't access, that goes free year by year by year. I introduced this to Musica and they took it, and that is how we can work with likes like Star Ghana, you know, and all these grants that we do get, all the help we get. Also, when it comes to Grand Ball, I mean, I played a very strong role in it.
Was it a Bessa idea?
No, it wasn't the Bessa idea. I mean, it was a Musica idea. I would say it's a boy and Mr. Usu's idea. But in all, to anything we have achieved, I supported and I traveled, I moved, and I play a strong role. Even now, if they're doing Grand Ball, the role I play is so crucial that if I don't do it, it will collapse. But you know, you have to work in the background. You just don't go up there and take the shine. I make sure everything, place is booked, you know, board members are working, and musicians perform at the show. And every musician that performs also gets paid. You know, and people, all awards are given, you know, and we make sure we sell to look after aged musicians. And what has this done? This has looked after a lot of aged musicians, and it continues to look at them. Their medications, operations, you know, emergencies, because it happens at a time where if we don't step in with AMWEF, there's going to be a disaster. And I know this is something that is going to continue for a long time, that younger musicians will grow and come and benefit from Grand Ball and Aged Musicians Welfare Fund.
Okay, good. Now we're going straight into your books now that we know what some of the things you have achieved will be or are. We are now going into the books to look at what is next on the agenda when given the power finally. That is what we're going to do next. K-Boy, allow Bessa. Don't confuse Uncle Bessa, please. Allow him so we can have a fruitful chat this morning on the show. Bessa, let's get to know you more. Some of us, we know Bessa is a keyboardist, he is a singer and all that. Even those who are very close, those who are very far might not know what really is in Bessa and who Bessa has been over the years. So if you can take us through your background, a little bit of who Bessa really is, we'll be glad before we go into the books proper.
Okay, I would say Mr. Simons grew up in Cape Coast. I was born into this house. Before I could open my eyes, there was music everywhere. Because my dad was a music teacher. People come to the house to learn how to play music, how to play the piano, how to sight read, and that is where it all started. So in my house, everybody was playing the piano, hymns, you know, church music, you know. But when it got to a point, I branched, you know, and I play band, and I play music at the clubs, you know, and it's until my dad said, hey, it's time, go and get some, something in the background. Then you can go and play any music you like. So I went to National Academy of Music, did my course, music education, majored in piano, and then when I finished, I did my national service. I'm a teacher, so I taught a bit, and then went to town and I played music from there, Ghana, and everywhere. Those days keyboard was not very popular, so if you play keyboard, the command and the respect you get was very, very high then. And we worked very, very hard with all the great musicians. After that, I have done so many productions for so many musicians. I remember my first recording, which I seen and now on it. From there, my very good friends, Tego Sisters, chased me in the UK, and they made sure I recorded their first album for them, and I think that's Nyame Ekesi. And this, I experimented a lot. That's when I changed gospel music from Kofi Abraham style to country music, different reggaes, high lives, medleys, Osodis and things like that. And since then, I didn't stop, I've recorded so many people like Felix Owusu, Okwentuni, Yosapon, Bessa album, which we worked on, one of the top studios in the UK. A lot of them, even Papa She, I produced Papa She. And what I mean by production is I would take the song, do all the programming, play the keyboards, and then do the arrangements and help you to sing choruses and everything. But my aim is every song I do must stand the test of time. So I go into proper orchestration and make sure that when you hear the song once, that's not the end of it. Anytime you hear something new that you've never heard before. And that takes a whole lot of hard work. Also, when I was in the UK, I worked with a whole lot of musicians. Papa Wemba, people from Zaire, S.C. Roji from Nigeria, Showboy from Sierra Leone, Showboy from Nigeria, and I worked with the famous Osibisa for a long time. And that was a massive point. This is a group that when you play, you get treatment that they will give to Michael Jackson. And we were promoting Ghana and Africa, and all Africans, all black people think Osibisa belongs to them. So wherever we go, we show them what we call the black power. And anything a white man can do, we can also do. That was the spirit. We wore Ghanaian clothes, so when we go, people want our
even your clothes.
Yes, they will even want our clothes. And this is a band that when we play, people will even lick the sweat on you because they don't know what to do with you. And when you get to that level, you see the power of black people, what we can do.
I see. Let's talk about your family. Is Bessa a family man? How many children, wives?
Yeah, I'm a family man. Unfortunately, I think 2009 I lost my wife. But I have 5 children. One is here, the rest are in the UK.
Okay.
And they are my brother and sisters. And if you see us, I think maybe because of the way I look, it's like the same siblings.
I see.
And we get on along so very well. And also, I love my family. I love children. So my cousins, my brothers, all their kids are my kids.
Your kids.
Yeah.
I see. In one of the stories I've read online, the story described you or introduced you as a businessman. So I was asking, apart from music, what kind of business is Bessa doing when the story introduced you as such?
Music is business. And in my life, I think I'm one of the musicians who has been doing music all his life. From Ghana, Europe, Canada, it's all music. If I'm not playing music, I'm teaching music. If I'm not teaching music, I am recording music. If I'm not recording, I am writing. And if I'm not writing, I become a consultant. And I've done this for a long time. I haven't gone out of my way to do anything. I will always make business out of music.
So the businessman they were talking about is still music.
It's still music. Music is business.
So your livelihood, everything you do, you have been living on music. You feed, you sleep, everything on music.
Exactly.
I see.
And to do that, you have to work very hard, and you have to equip yourself, with all the right tools, so that you can work. I mean,
so it's Bessa very comfortable now that you are telling us you live on music. Everything about you is music. Are you very comfortable in life?
I don't think anybody is very comfortable, because the higher you go, you know what
the
happens.
more troubles.
Yeah, and the more you make money, I wish I could have more to look after, more people. That's what I would say. Yeah.
So all these years of experience, all the successes chalked. How old is Bessa now?
Oh, Bessa is in his 60s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah.
That is very bad. Still more energy to do the work of Dada Hafko and Chief Charles. Because they are trouble guys.
Mr. Simon is a beautiful man.
I have not brought you in here yet. I have not brought you in yet. Hold it there. Okay, so the book that I have, we are now about to read. Bessa for Better. It looks like your colors, your colors, they look like the NPP colors. Is everything okay with you and NPP?
You know, I didn't know about this. Someone designed it, and you know me, I'm not a politician, so I don't even know about colors in Ghana until someone mentioned it. Say, hey, these colors, I think it was Socrates or so, talking about the colors, and I said, oh, I didn't know about that. They just brought it. I thought it was beautiful, and that's it. So I don't know about the colors.
You don't know whether they are the NPP colors.
Yeah, or the. I don't even know which one is the.
But someone has
umbrella.
also told you.
Yeah, someone just told me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know which one is the umbrella and the other one is
the elephant.
the elephant. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But the last election, you voted for who?
Oh, I didn't vote.
You have not. Okay, so the last before the last.
No, I haven't voted in Ghana.
Oh, you haven't voted in Ghana?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
All right, that is
but
perfect.
This year I'm going to vote because I've registered.
Are you voting for the same colors we have here?
My vote is my secret.
I wanna Maya Kai say yentu about sense, but yenkoso. So we are looking at the objectives of Bessa Simons as the music president, and I've seen 8 of them here. 8 of them here. There are also some initiatives that we'll be running into later on in the program. The first one says, 1 musician, 1 instrument. For every musician to acquire his or her own instrument, I have agreed process with the Instrument Sellers Association to enable members in good standing to purchase their instruments in installments, securing full ownership on completing their payment. This is the first objective of Uncle Bessa Simons, who is vying for the position of Musica President, where he says 1 musician, 1 instrument. Bessa, throw more light on this one.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, wherever you go in the world, every musician owns an instrument. You have to have your own instrument, and it does so many things. If you have an instrument, you have to learn how to play it. Once you know how to play your instrument, it opens so many doors for you. And I know, and it is true, and I know so many people don't know this. So I will make sure, if given the nod, that every musician owns his own instrument, and Musica will help you to learn how to play that instrument. You see, if you know how to play an instrument,
all the thousands of members, Musica is going to help them individually to learn how to play instruments.
Oh yeah, I mean, we have so many regions. There are other teachers. You can go private. You can come to Musica, because we have so many teachers at Musica who are working for free now. And we're going to turn it into business for them.
And you said that you are now dealing with the Instrument Sellers Association.
No, I've spoken to them, but until I get the nod, I just can't go. This is something we started before, and I started that crusade. And I know once given the nod, I will, execute it. But let me say this.
And they can also buy even on credit.
Yeah, they have to buy on credit, because if you can't buy it straight away, you go on credit.
Is this what the musician needs? One instrument, one musician. Is it what they need?
Yeah, that's what I'm explaining.
Okay, good.
If you can play an instrument, you can work in so many ways. If you can play a guitar and you can sing, you can be a one-man band. Do you know Six Strings? He is a one-man musician, his guitar and his voice. And he goes around playing at clubs, hotels. So every weekend, if he can do 2 shows, I call it gigs, a day, and earns 200 a day. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he's working. He makes money. And then that times 4. Every month he's raking in money because he can play an instrument. You can't just go and stand there and rap it. Nobody will pay you. But if you can play and sing, you can make money. If you can't play and sing, you can play in a band. If you don't play in a band, you can play in a church. The reason being, you should be making money all the time. I told you about music business. Once you do this, you can now take your time and work on what you want to become. If you wait for your big break, you can't just sit down and go and record and hold this song every day, take it left and right. No, you have to be living. And so this will feed you every day whilst you look for your big break. And it is very,
so
very
what it means is that those who will not get their instruments will not be considered as bona fide musicians according to your understanding of the business now?
No, it's a choice. I am opening it up to them because
I
know it's a choice. This is my life. I started very early at the age of 6, 7 playing piano. About 10 I was playing in a big band. About 13 I was writing for a large horn session. And it was even a show. People would just come and watch me write, score the brass session, teach them and play a big song, And so I know people will benefit from it.
So, for instance, if I'm a musician, I'm not too sure which instrument I should buy. Can Bessa or the music union recommend which one I should buy? Like Hafko, for instance, I'm not too sure which instrument he'll buy, whether conga or trumpet or whatever. Can the person come for advice? Okay, Uncle Bessa, I want to get my instrument. Which one would you recommend I buy? Will the union be doing this service as well?
Definitely.
So what would you recommend for Hafko?
It will depend on the instrument he loves. You have to love the instrument.
Hafko, which instrument do you love so much?
I love the keyboard.
You love the keyboard?
Yeah.
But you don't know how to play it, obviously. But I hear someone like Hafko, it will be very difficult for him to play. I hear adults, when it comes to learning musical instruments, they struggle than if you're a child, you learn faster than being an adult. That's what I've heard. Because Nensan would ding Chinesa and Nensan finger. He doesn't finger the right keyboards.
Well, that is not actually true. Because I have a way of teaching people how to play the piano. And within 3 months, you should be playing the basic things. Yeah, and it's a course that is very interesting. Some time ago, me and my friend Peter and Dela Hayes, we went to the streets, collected people who have finished school and don't know what they want to do with their lives, and then we started teaching them how to play an instrument. Through that we have drummers now, we have, and they were mainly girls. We have guitarists, we have keyboard players who are now playing, and I think once we start doing this, it will really work.
Okay, so musicians, this. Give him the nod so that we can have one instrument, one musician, just as the NPP also promised, one district, one factory. Objective number 2 says, there will be workshops to help link every musician into the international music market. And Bessa will explain this.
Yeah, you see, before you go into the international market, it's a big circle. You have to have what you take in there. You just don't have to go and play the second fiddle. And I think so many things that is happening in Ghana is because we don't have the proper direction. So we have to help musicians to have a direction. You just, if you're playing a music which is not going to take you out there, if you are not properly profiled, that anybody can do business with you, it's going to be difficult for you to go international. So we're going to have all these workshops to bring in the experts, because there's so much you have to know before you go international. You have to know about contracts. You have to know what you need. So they come to you, they ask you, okay, we want to book you some flex. What should we expect? You know, you have to have your profile straight away. You give the rate straight away. They know how to do business with you. And we have to train our people to know that. We have to train our people that when they go out there, they are going to face different musicians coming from different countries, and they know what we are talking about. So we're going to equip them with all the necessary tools that they need before they go out.
So 7.5 years being very close to music decision making, are there some people you can say these guys have linked them to the international world before? Are there some success stories that you are going to continue when giving the nod finally?
I think, yeah, what has been happening is all the musicians that listen to advice are out there performing. One musician I take my hat to is Checheku. You know, he always talks to me, you know, as to how I can take my music out there, fall into that group of people that are being booked. Atongo Zimba is one, and what happens is once you have these qualities, they will book you year in, year around at, you know, a stretch of countries, and you go and play. But if you go there and you are going to play like another person who they have the original one, they will not mind you. You know? So I mean, there's been some musicians who have seen the light and they are going.
Okay, objective number 3, according to Bessa Simon's manifesto, this one says to secure grants to enhance and educate our members.
It's very, very important. Like I said earlier on, there are so many grants going unassessed, and we are going to put a team together. Their work is to go around and see which grants, you know, are there for the creative arts to access. And we started, you know, that's, may his soul rest in peace, Reverend Fifi Khan. He started that. And if given the nod, I'm going to bring it back, because with this, once we get the grant will help us to go to all the 10 or 16 regions. You know, everything we do in Accra, we can do the same in every region, so that all regions will be a par with Accra. You know, I've been traveling. I think I'm the only executive who has traveled around the regions more than everybody. And I've been talking to the youth. If you go to every region now, you see that they have their local stars. What is happening is their music is not matching up to the music being made in Accra. Their videos is not matching videos being made in Accra. So I have decided, given a nod, I'm going to take the experts from NAFTI, from those who are doing good music, Kofi Ubits, and all those guys, you know, Kewa. So we go to the region, hold a two days workshop with the sound engineers, and then the video guys will hold a workshop with them and bring them up to the same level, so that when we come to Accra and we play the football, we will be on the same level field.
Now, this particular objective, that is objective number 4, I want you to tell me how you are going to achieve that, where it says you are going to promote and preserve Ghanaian culture through early education, putting basic music back on the music curriculum. How are you going to achieve this?
Well, I mean, this is how I grew up. When I was growing up, all the students around me, from even class 3 or class 4, we were learning the basic rudiments in music. We knew, you know, every good boy deserves favor, face for the spaces, you know. We know the bass clef, we know the treble clef, and we knew the tonic sulfurs. You know, we can tear it apart. So mi do, la fa re, ti so re mi, zi la fa re ti do. We knew all these things when we were growing up. We don't have this now, but it's not lost. So I want us to catch them from the very beginning, and that is why we will be going to the Ministry of Education and the government and make sure this is introduced and brought back. The reason being, if we don't do this, and we're going to let it flow like this, when they go out there and they meet their peers, it's going to be a disaster. I mean, only few musicians know this basic. I'm not saying going to go and do music at the university. No, but you need the basics. I'm sure everyone in here knows the basics about what they do. So I think we also deserve the same.
But is the Ministry of Education ready for this? Have you done your studies to know that, okay, if I push this, it is likely to work out?
I don't think it will be very difficult. Once we take it to them and they know this is the right thing
because
to do.
I know they also have their priorities as a ministry.
Definitely, but are they going to let it go like that? Our culture, we're losing our culture because it's not even being taught. You know, when we were at school those days, we used to learn our traditional dance, you know, and things like that. And so we grew up Pan-African straight away, and we knew that what we have is better. I still feel that what I know, my music, my food, my everything, my mentality is that it's better than any countries. You know, but some of our children and, you know, grown-ups don't even have that faith in them. And we have to instill that in our people through our music, our culture, and everything.
We are still looking at the objectives of Bessa Simons, who is looking for the North to be Musiga president. Now, I'm going to put together point 5 or objective 5 and 6 because they seem to be on the same line. Where 5 says to equip the Ghanaian musician with what it takes to be self-reliant, creative and industrious, and point 6 says to strengthen all Musiga regional branches. Uncle Bessa, let's put this together because I know this is just individualism and this is the general one.
Okay, the self-reliant one, you have to know what you want to do. That's very important. If you don't know what you want to do, then you just go and do anything. And what you want to do, how am I going to make a living out of what I want to do? That is also very important. I mean, you take someone like Kodwempi. He just didn't get up one day and became Kodwempi. He sat down, worked it out, planned. This is what I'm going to do. Every year, you know, people don't know this, but he is thinking, what am I going to do next year? I'm going to put up this show. And this show, what am I going to do? These are some of the things we have to instill in our musicians to know that they have to use their skills to make money. And it is very, very important. Even the way you walk onto the stage should make you money. Your costume should make you, what you say at the radio station should make you money. And these are some what will make you very self. And so it will come a time where you are a business working. Also, we need to get the managers. You know, for musicians to be self-reliant, we need proper managers, and we have to work this thing out to make it a whole, you know, institution, a whole business. Now, talking about the regions, the regions are empowered to do so much, but they don't realize that, and that is why if given the nod, I will strengthen the regions because the regions are the pillars for Musiga. Most of the time, when the regions are working, they depend on national. Everything they do depends on national. But I will make sure that they stand on their own 2 feet. And at the region, everything that comes to the region, especially to do with music, should come through them. They should also be able to organize raise funds for their region, you know? And they should have proper structures for themselves, not depend too much on national, always going to look money for them. For example, I have this idea that every year, every region, to start with, if given the nod, next year, every region will have a date on the calendar to raise funds. And to raise these funds, I've spoken to so many big musicians, Chami Kwame, and all these big stars. They will head the bill. And let's say if
they are going to raise the funds through concerts.
Through concerts, yeah.
Okay.
For that region. And the sitting president will be part of the organization and make sure they make money, and that money will go to that region. And when they get the money, it's not that they're going to just spend the money, they have to have a budget. They have to work with that money. You know, for example, I mean, to strengthen them, we are going to make sure they own their own instruments. Every region needs instruments. Not only instruments, but you know, it comes with so many things like spinning machines, so they can rent and make money for the region as well. You know, and they can have instruments that the members who have paid their dues can have, you know, pay very little, use the instrument to, they can rent it out, you know, and make money for the region.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe you.
When it comes to unity, it was a big challenge for the previous administration. But if I get the nod, I mean, that is one of my major, you know, the major things that I would like to do. Because at the moment, musicians are scattered all over. They are divided. They are divided so much so that we are not getting what we're supposed to get. People with brilliant ideas are sitting out there and, you know, fighting each other. But I mean, I know me because I flow with everybody, old, young, and all the factions. Anytime we meet, we are fine, you know. So I want to bring everybody together. If I become, and already they have started saying it, AMRO, all the branches say, if I become the president, they will all bring their expertise.
Now, the challenge people have with this statement is that you were with the previous administration and now you are admitting that they failed. So what is going to be different when you are going to be given the nod to lead them?
Well, not that they failed. They tried, you know, but they were not coming. I mean, sometimes it's relationship between people. But with me, my relationship between people is very different. Everybody's is different. I am somebody who brings people together. And if you ask anybody from music, they will tell you, you know. But if someone feels that because of maybe that I'm not going to go and join these people, that's also another big challenge, you know. But I know if I become the president, everybody will come and bring their expertise. I mean, also talking about, for accountability, I think this administration has been very accountable. Because every year they have audited accounts, you know, and everything. If you go there, all the accounts are intact. What people say might be coming from somewhere, but so far as I'm concerned, and as honest as I am, I can tell you there has not been any embezzlement there. All the accounts has been done to date, and even as they are leaving office, you will see that they will provide the accounts and everything. Well, when it comes to transparency, it's very, very important, and this is what I stand for. Everybody knows I stand for greater transparency. Everywhere I've been, I fight for it, you know. But I must say, most of my brothers in Ghana are afraid to open up. You know, I mean, if you are going to get ABC and you are going to get it for your members, why keep it? Go out there and tell them, this is for you. This is what we are getting for you. Even if possible, open up a debate. You know, but you should also understand that it's not a one-man show. It's a group. We run with a constitution. So I'm the sort of person, if I say something and I don't get mine passed, you know, I don't give up. I'll keep fighting till I get it.
Bessa, you have been accused of this. I want to play this for you so that you clear the air once and for all. Some people have accused you of doing something illegal.
I mean,
an unknown person saying that you are registering fake people to aid you win the next election. What do you say to this?
The good thing is that everybody can see through this man. He is
do you know him?
I don't know him,
okay.
but I know this is one of Appiah's campaign style. You know, his people in Kumasi are doing it. They were even banned from saying this. It has no grounds, no basis. I mean, I don't.
That you are not.
No, we don't do
anything.
cards. The cards is done by the regions. They do. It's a different. When it comes to cards, I mean, I haven't even been to the office. I mean, I haven't been to the regions. I've only been to Central Region. That's where I went to, you know, launch my manifesto. The second time. So the person talking, it's a straight, you know, Appiah kind of doing things. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time. We know him at Musica, and I don't think this is going to fly. because why should I go and do that? Just because I want to help Musica? No, it's impossible. You can't even do that because the people working on it are different. They are at a different department. And also,
Appiah was here last week and he said he is better than you are when it comes to the man with the competence to lead Musica. He is a better candidate than you are, so we should ignore all the promises, the one instrument, one musician. It is just a facade.
I think that's a big lie, and he knows it. I mean, Ras, we know Ras. He doesn't know anything. He only talks. If you go to Ras Appiah's meeting with Greater Accra, he is one man. He will talk to the end, and when, no questions, no nothing. They close. We gave him Greater Accra. He hasn't done nothing. Nothing. Even the end of your party, someone initiated it, and then he just followed. Ras Appiah, you know, from the Mopato. I mean, he just talks. He will just talk. If we give him Musica, he will still talk and collapse Musica. He can't bring in a dime to Musica. And as I speak now, his people are waiting for him. They say he should account for all the monies collected. You know, their welfare. He should account for all the monies that has come to Greater Accra, and he knows it. And they are asking him, and he is brushing it away. If he can do that, then he can say he's better than me. On top of that, I mean, you can't just go and stand by the side of Alpha Blondie, and then, you know, by the side of Kobentri, and come and stand here and say, you know, Alpha Blondie this, Alpha Blondie that. I mean, you
mean he was just standing by their side? He didn't do anything?
Yeah. What did he do?
He said he was part of their band and he aided in getting Kobentri to a certain level, Alpha Blondie and co.
I think we should call Kobentri one day and ask him. I mean, how can you even say that? I mean, look at Kobentri and look at you. I mean, I say kwati obamontuma. I mean, we know Ras Appiah. You know, Ras Appiah loves cars. We gave him Musica car, you know, to use because he's the Greater Accra chairman. This man will drive the car down, even when there's no oil in the car. And when he spoils it, you come and put it down. I was the one who used to beg for it. I said, oh, give him the car. He's the chairman. You know, until one point they said, they would, no. I asked them, why are you don't want to give? He said, this man always spoils the car. Even the man at the front desk, anytime he sees him going to start his car, he says, oh, you people, you giving the car to this man again.
So when we give him Musica, same way, he will spoil Musica and come and put it down.
There will not be a single car, and he cannot bring a dime, a penny into Musica. You know, I didn't want to say this, but I mean, I remember his Mopato. This guy talked and talked and talked and talked. In the end, everybody left him because he was alive. He couldn't do the concert. He didn't know anybody in the States, like he was saying. And I've got two people coming from UK, and they are coming to talk about his Mopato. His manifesto is just like the Mopato, you know. And if he gets into trouble, Musica is doomed. He hasn't got anything to offer. I mean, he is saying so many things that is very hurting. You are part of Musica. You wanted to use the car, and you are very good at, you know, going to places. You decided all the letters you want to deliver so that you can have the car. We gave it to you. You know, not just that he can have the car, but he knows how to do it. So we gave him all the letters, and then he did. Now he's sitting down saying Musica made him a delivery boy. How can that be possible? You accepted to do. Nobody forced anybody to do anything. He says Musica didn't give him any penny. Musica has not given any executive penny. You come in there, you have the power to make money. You didn't make any money. We don't know where your welfare money is. We don't know where the juice money you collected is. We don't know the money you made from the end of year party.
But he's an executive member.
He's an executive
member. But earlier you said Musica is a transparent body and you guys are accountable. So if a chairman of Greater Accra has embezzled money and you are telling us, it means you guys were not really accountable like that.
No. The point is he has to account to his people. We are going to have a NEC meeting next month. And every region will bring their account and you will see. But this is, I'm just saying this because his members are crying. They say they want to see at their accounts from.
Okay, so my panel members can now come in. But then someone at Musica thinks that anytime when he hears you talking about the one musician, one instrument factor, he gets hurt because you being the first vice president of Musica, you sat down and you saw the collapse of the rehearsal studio of Musica. Now you are telling him that when you get the law to become Musica president, you're going to force or you're going to advise musicians to get one instrument, and it goes on like that. When a rehearsal studio, you couldn't even help maintain it. That is the person's head.
Well, I mean, that is very sad. I didn't sit down to see that instruments collapse. What it is, I mean, there was some few instruments there, you know, but Obiani Niniswadi, you see, we had so many things to do, and if what we have to do does not get to instruments, you can't do anything, you know. I mean, here is a case. We were chasing Asante Mambo in the first 4 years. I had to drive from here every day, go to Masi and return. And I would drive, you know. I'll get back to Accra about 4 before we got Otum 4 to come to the show, you know. And doing these things takes time, you know, and somebody is looking after the instrument. I mean, me Bobai. If I become the president, I will still play by. So if I become the president, there is no way there wouldn't be an instrument at Musica. If someone is a lawyer, when they become the president, you see everything will be around law. Me, when I become the president, and I'm telling you, there will be instruments everywhere because I will be playing myself.
But the rehearsal studio is really sports.
The rehearsal studio, I mean, it also, don't forget, because of the sea salt. So most of the instruments got damaged. They still have some instruments they use.
I hear Musica is being evicted or sacked from their current office.
Not sacked. You know, because of the marine drive, they are moving every, you know, organization from there. I think we are about the
So have you gotten a new office yet?
Yes, you know, the president said it has promised us a place.
The president promised.
Yeah.
He's not giving.
No. He's asked the Minister for Housing
to take care of that.
Take care of that. You know, we've gone to see them. They are looking for a place for us, and I hope very soon there will be a place for us so we can move and go into that premises.
Thank you so much. Questions, but because of time, we've already exhausted our time. So let me bring my panel members. Maybe they will do the rest of the questions I've not done yet. Hafko, Chief Charles, Arnold Mensah Levanyo, Uncle Bessa, our music president to be. He is right here giving us his objectives. In fact, very, very clear. Brofono kan awtiase ohia kopose anke be na church because nini na clear. And again, he's saying that he'll be bringing some initiatives like the Musica Regional Band, Musica Play an Instrument program. That is number 2. And number 3 is the Musica Regional Farms. All these are coming through. I don't know which farming they'll be doing though, but it can be wheat farming, it can be any farming at all. Now, annual Musica Expert Concert. This one is also one of his initiatives. And the fundraising for regions. Okay, this was part of the objectives. And number 6 says Bessa for Better team will work with Gamro to see the actualization of logging and distribution to right owners. These and many more are the things he will do when giving the nod. I've got any question to Bessa Simons, our next Musica president?
Okay, so first of all, Uncle Bessa, congratulations.
Thank you.
I think you're a legend. So some of us would love to see you win because you've inspired us with your music back in the day. We've listened to you through and through. But a few questions that I would want to throw to you. Now, first question is, there's been a lot of rumors out there that the Musica presidency, they build candidates up. Like certain candidates are built to succeed the ones that leave. For example, Obo was built to succeed
Diana Hobson.
Diana Hobson was also built to succeed Sinibu. And Obo also came, and you are being built by the Obo team to succeed him. And so obviously you are seen as the favorite. And how true is that?
Well, that is not true. Because so far as I'm concerned, and everybody who knows me, I'm a man of my own. And I don't even think I I will be the choice of Obuo, because I mean at meetings everybody knows how I challenge him. Sometimes we get into a heated argument, heated debate, but when we finish, we are cool and then we move on. For me, nobody can buy my conscience. I'm a musician. I think about musicians, and I think about high life music. I think one thing that's really driving me is for all the genres to realize that we have high life music. But to answer your question, nobody has groomed me. I have my experience from UK, which is very, very different from, so because with me, when I was in the UK, I worked with the white people more. And I'm a Ghanaian first. So coming back, that side of me will not allow me to do certain things.
Okay, then the last one. Sorry, just the last one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I read somewhere, I think I follow something about the UK Music Union and how they put artists on festivals, foreign festivals. And since you have been there and knows how these things work, why weren't you able to institute that in the old administration, since you played a bigger part in the old administration? Because when you look at our music industry, it looks like that side of the job has always been left out. The union does not front some of these things for us, the artists, because people traveled and they go and see how other unions in different countries they work and how they push artists to bigger festivals in the world. Why weren't you able to influence the old administration in doing some of these things? Because you had experience from the UK union, so you could have introduced them to it for you guys to probably even work hand in hand with the UK union, since you come from there.
Well, thank you very much. That's a very good question. I introduced it, but introducing it and people believing in it and buying into it is another thing. If I have everybody backing me that we can do ABCD. If you go to most of the things that music is doing is correct. If you go to UK, they have the Point Street Festival, where every musician plays, and when you play, you get £20 because it's raising funds for Musica. At the same time, all the festivals, Musica will have to be part of all the festivals in Ghana, so that we can push our members through them. But that is an uphill struggle, trying to get into a festival, and it's very difficult because people are holding it to their chest, and so we have to find a way of doing it. Now, going into festivals outside, we have to work with people who organize those festivals. It's a group of people, and they are all different, and they have their marks in so many places. And once we work with these people, and to do that, we have to go there and work it out before we come back. But it's something that is really close to my heart that I would like to do, and send our musicians that we can export to go and showcase Ghana there. It's something very close to my heart that if I get the nod, and this time I'll be sitting down, then I can push it properly.
Thank you, of course. Chief Charles, I'm giving you just 3 minutes, unfortunately. Our time is up.
Okay. For me, I don't even have much questions.
Okay, good.
Than to wish him the best.
Good.
And hope that this time there will be something different. Because quite honestly, the impression out there about the musician union is one that is self-serving. One that looks out for its own, not necessarily on behalf of those it's supposed to help. So I'm hoping there are a couple of things I would have loved to say about for want of time.
I know.
But I think I do believe in Uncle Bessa.
He's built a pedigree that he shouldn't let Musica kill it.
He has my support, and I hope that he would bring something different. But quite honestly, same way, with the same fervor and honesty with which I support him, if he's there, and we're not seeing any changes, or we're not seeing anything different, we're not seeing any betterments for the union, we'll still come and sit here and talk about it, and if necessary, we'll bash him if he doesn't do what he says he will do. But congrats, Uncle.
Thank you so much. Bessa Simons, before you leave us, maybe a final message to musicians, the electorate, those who will be voting. Talk to them under 1 minute. Let's say goodbye to them.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, fellow musicians, there comes a time where we have to choose a leader. And I am presenting myself to you as somebody who is very honest. And I am not coming in for any gains. I'm just coming in because I want your lives to be better as creative people. And I am coming to get for musicians. You know, I'm not coming to get for myself. I mean, where I am now, I don't need anything for myself. I'm coming to get what we're supposed to get as musicians. Through the government, through the corporate world, through anybody who owes us something. And I'm also coming to make sure that GAMRO, which is our life savings, is secured in a way that when they take charge of collecting your royalties for you, it is done properly. I mean, they are almost there and they need our support, and we are going to do that. So please, I'm just begging you, don't make that mistake. I've seen so many people going to make a mistake. Don't make that mistake, because if you make that mistake, it's irreversible. We cannot repair it. Please vote for me, and yet let's take music to the next level.
Thank you so much, Bessa Simons, for that one. So we are surely going to support this message. Let's hope that everything that Uncle Bessa Simons has promised us, he will get the strength, he will get the knowledge, and again he will get the wisdom to apply them so that music will be a better union in the near future. God bless you so much. The election is next month, so I'm sure if something comes up and there will be the need for him to come here again, he will surely come for us to explain everything he wants to do to you. God bless you so much, Bessa Simons.